feel different.
Well, I think, no.
And
No,
our
but I
first,
feel it.
really what we're gonna take up is the technical letter that we've received. It's fairly lengthy. Some of it are pretty straightforward and others,
30 pages.
well,
I know, I thought it was the old one.
it's, so, thank you, Emily, if you could sort of run through what we have here. And, some are truly just technical cleanup and others probably we might want to spend more time.
Yep, so for the record, Emily Burns, Joint Fiscal Office, so you should all have a copy of the technical letter dated April
Is
30th.
it in here?
Yesterday, it came yesterday, so we handed it out yesterday.
I think it's in my stack.
We have the older one in our packet. Under the new, under tab 10.
Oh, that's the old one.
Doesn't, I think I added the new.
No.
Here, we'll share. All right.
7 is the Dear Jane letter and 8 is the old dated
This was
April
old.
4.
Right, it's April 30th.
All right, we got it, we got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so the first one is section D 105, agency of digital services. This is a change that was actually in the original technical letter that we forgot to incorporate in the Senate version. This is an update to the internal service fund.
So that's
Amount
fine.
appropriated, yep. In B 111 and B 200, there was language put in around the litigation for dams.
Oh, yeah.
And this just updates the appropriations to match that language.
Oh, and the tax.
In the tax, in the Attorney General's office.
That's one of my legacy, you know.
Every time you hear about it,
Yes.
Yeah, that's one to know.
In section,
Elections.
all right, B 225 and B 225.2, so we, the conservation, the 112 general fund increase for the conservation districts was in the wrong appropriation in the wrong object, but since that is a sort of outstanding item, we won't, if
If we put it in, we'll correct it.
we put it in, we'll fix it, if not, we don't have to do anything. In the Human Services Central Office, B 300, the item went in it went in the wrong major object. It should have been grants, not personal services, so we will update that.
We're talking about for the refugee.
For the refugee housing, yep, so we'll change that. That was, I believe that was agreed to yesterday.
Mhm.
For B 301, we are going to look into that one a little bit more, just to make sure that was chewing up the match rates for the whole commitment for the LUPA rate increase. And then similarly, how we booked the mental health urgent care centers, it was in a one-time appropriation, it came out of D 301, it probably shouldn't have. So it is a technical issue, but JFO just needs to make sure we put it in the right place to get it right.
And does that depend on what we decide or is that already decided?
In parts, it will depend on what gets decided.
Yeah.
And just making sure it's in the right place and accounted for correctly. The public health one, it looks like there's just the totals didn't come through correctly, so we're gonna double check that one.
They're
That
not
is
valid?
technical.
Oh.
No.
I'm glad that-
Oh,
No,
I remember.
you know what?
You saw that one. Yeah, I did.
Okay.
The B 703 and B 705, this is the additional funding for serve, earn, and learn. It was put in the administration appropriation, that should have been in the state parks appropriation. We won't do anything with that until a decision is made on what to do, but serve, learn, and earn.
That both of those, so just switch, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So B 1100, subpart D, subpart 6. There's a question about how this language is drafted. We're gonna consult with Ledge Council. Assuming that this one is approved by the conference committee. I believe this one was both the same in both the House and Senate, but we will talk to Ledge Council about getting that language cleaned up. Similarly with B 1100J subpart 2, we'll talk to Ledge Council and the transportation analysts on how to word that correctly to bring that one back to the committee to review.
That was like based on a fee.
Yeah.
And is that a committee of conference?
Senator, is that like in question?
Yeah, or is that the $89 that some people wanted to charge for electric vehicles?
that's the first year, revenues and, being.
And that's TBD, right?
Yeah.
If you have a hybrid.
Half,
4450.
half, 4450.
Really?
If it's a plug-in.
Even though you don't get as many miles with the plug-in cars as you do with the gas.
Depends on where you drive.
You surely wanted to expand your charging network. You want the best for your children. All right,
They have a charger on my house now.
I do too.
He's not in a rural district, helping the small towns, there's needing charges
Oh, yeah.
where it's not going to expand.
Right.
I have a beautiful granite hose for Nathaniel's charging station. It's lovely.
We built church.
Yeah. So let's keep going here.
We'll keep going. So B 1100 subpart N, subpart 1 is on the top of page 7. This technical change, so originally as this was written, it said,
This is where we did the funding for the pilot.
Yeah.
This.
This is where the 3.9.
3.9. No, this is the
No.
global payment for hospitals.
yeah, and originally, their language,
Tail plays.
Right, yeah, that I
Okay.
keep, okay.
language originally had said this one-time appropriation, once they're done paying out the sort of tail to the ahead program, anything remaining in the appropriation would be reverted to the general fund. Then in the Senate construct of the bill, we added a contingent appropriation to move the amount of this, the amount for the ahead program to the contingent list, so
Not
that,
ahead. Not
not,
ahead.
sorry, not ahead, the
It's the other
global payment
3.9.
pilot program. So basically what this says is that if the human services caseload is refilled by the contingent appropriations, then anything that's left in this one-time appropriation will revert to the general fund generally, so we don't revert to the human services caseload reserve twice. That just cleans that up.
Okay.
In B 1100, B1, the change to the disaster declaration number, that's just getting the correct number. And for the fall storm,
What page?
that was the very bottom of page 7.
Okay.
On page, top of page 8,
Oh,
this is just cleaning up how, being a little bit more explicit for the most part in terms of how we do the contingent appropriation. So saying is appropriated, is transferred, et cetera, in each subsection as opposed to just in the first, in part B.
Is transferred.
number 7 in green,
Yes,
and like proportionally.
they would like a little bit more guidance on what proportionally means. So if that moves forward, we would work with the conference committee to just get that little clean up. One other one to point out in subpart B3, they changed, there's,
And safety.
in S213, there is a change to the name of the, dam safety revolving
Yes.
loan fund, so this. The administration has recommended going back to the name, the current name, but if S213 passes, we want that money to go to the
It's to
new
the
fund.
correct name. Yeah.
So this will reflect the new fund that will be created.
What is the name of the new fund?
It's the, it
It's
just
the
takes out the unsafe.
Is the dam safety revolving loan fund.
That's all it
It's
is.
currently the Vermont unsafe dam revolving loan fund.
Because it's kind of like you can't get any money until you've already had a word
Problem.
breach or a problem. Instead of like prevention.
Yeah.
So not only does it change how the fund can be used, but it also changes the name of the fund, so it doesn't assume that just unsafe dams can get this money.
And then the only other sort of thing to note is they've added in subpart 6, subpart 12, and subpart 16, there is reference to the sub-accounts within the cap fund where
Oh, the IIJ.
those IIJ matches go, so that just makes it explicit about what that money is for. All right, then onto page 10, the 1103, just adding notwithstanding language, that's fine.
Oh,
Make an
Where did
allowable
we
use
take,
of
oh,
the
we
cash
took that
fund.
from the. Mhm.
our institutions committee loves walleyes and apparently fishing derbies and
Fishing
and fishing
hatcheries.
hatcheries. And so They move money around to free up
30,000.
$30,000.
Which is one-time money, right? And that, but it's coming out of the capital fund, which is supposed to be used for bond instead of bonding.
Is it capital
So it's a
cash?
different
Capital
use.
cash.
Capital.
Right, but it's the cash fund is for capital project.
Well, we funded walleyes, remember? And a few
Is
others.
this where we fund the walleyes?
Mhm.
Or the fish hatchery? No, no, I put the fish hatchery.
Fish hatchery,
Yeah.
you reduce the amount of money in that, account by $4 million to support your budget, and then funded the $550 out of that, so it's a net of reduction, 35, I think.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
see what it is. Yes, yes. I don't think Representative Senator Starr would have known this unless I had told him, like, do you know that the fishing one's dirty ones on?
Oh, I think Senator Representative Brandon Nice mentioned.
the money is here.
It is here now, but you need an notwithstanding for that cash fund.
Okay, so if that is agreed to, we'll incorporate that language.
It's in the capital bill, along with the tables and chairs for the cafeteria.
Oh, yes.
The Janet Miller chairs? I'm sorry.
I know, I understand, I hope the governor's staff is looking at, decisions made
We had
and.
lots of discussion about that.
It's in the other one.
Appropriations.
So let's keep going, because we have to go to the floor,
Okay.
we're not gonna get through this.
I can stop whenever you want me to pause, but so C101, this is updated to reflect, the corrected amounts for local commitment needs to match for the
That's just
investment.
normal.
Yeah,
Yeah, and this is all self-contained and pays for itself, so it just cleans up the numbers, make sure they're correct. C102 changes that is authorized to go as shall. Which is fine.
fine.
C107, similarly updating.
Yeah, it's just simply, so you don't have to dig up the stabilization reserve for this. Inversions.
C110, just cleaning up language, I believe this language originally came from the governor's office.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, right? Yeah.
and I think you already assumed those reversions, it's just.
Yes, yeah, we didn't have the language.
I'm gonna suggest then we break here, page 12,
Okay.
C112, because we're gonna have to go there. I don't know.
I have a bill to it. We're doing
You have
it
one
at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
But we are meeting back here at 3:30 or something. Right.
We can keep track of this. Yeah.
Good. Thank you, Emily.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we're meeting at 11:30.